I like Shane Beamer. I'm on Shane Beamer's side. Beamer ball all the way, all aboard the Shane train. I'm not a fire Marcus Satterfield guy. It was a bad call. There's just no other way for me to. Do you look at it the same way? I mean, are you quite as critical as I am? And I'll also say this: how baffled were you? Because I couldn't believe what I was watching when that happened.
I couldn't either. I think we would all agree that, you know, one of the greatest elements in any battle is the element of surprise. And I was surprised. Were you surprised?
Very, very.
So it had that going for it.
Unfortunately, Tennessee wasn't a surprise, I think, as you and I were.
It didn't. They didn't appear to be. No. That's probably why they picked it off.
Because here, Alex, here's the thing with me is like somebody's like, if you execute it, it's a touchdown, but it's like, okay, I hear you, but you're asking a defensive end to throw a dime in the back corner of the end zone. Like,
it's a tough.
Even if you've ran it in practice, it's like, put Jalen Brooks back there. Like, put a skill player back there. You know what I mean? It's just.
I mean, my default would have just been have him run it. I mean, are you going to tackle him at the one? The dude's 260. Neither here nor there. Okay, so I kind of fall into two camps on this. Was it a good call? Probably not. I don't. But at the same time, the aggression that we have shown in play calling, going for fourth downs, being willing to run trick plays like this, just kind of laying it all out, emptying the bag, if you will, I don't hate that. I don't like the result of it. I don't think it was the right time to call something like that. I think in that situation, you're down 14-0. You got to get points here. Is this where we want to run this? Is this something we'd rather run when we're tied and we've got an opportunity to steal one? Like, I like that situation. I like the call. I don't like the situation it was run in. If is probably a better way to say that, because, you know, if we just try to pound it up the middle, 3 yards in a cloud of dust and kick a field goal, you know, are we in a better spot? Sure. But like, that's what everybody was so frustrated about in the Muschamp era, was like, we're kicking field goals down 40 points. So the aggressiveness of it, I really like situationally. I didn't care for it.
See, and now I fall into two camps on Alex when you bring that up, because I love the fact that we're erring on the side of aggression. I do love that. I do, because when you look at the last couple of years and what we dealt with, kicking 56-yard field goals and kicking field goals and going on 7-minute drives down to right, it speaks for itself. So I love the fact we're erring on the side of aggression. But the other camp I fall in is this, and tell me if you hear me out on this. What I hated about that call more than anything is it screamed to me, we were saying out loud, hey, we don't feel like we're good enough to just line up and win this game straight up. We got to do something really silly and tricky and try to fool you to score even just a simple touchdown. That was the message it sent to me. Again, I don't know that that's necessarily what they were trying to say, but that's what it screamed to me. You know what I mean? So again, kind of back to what you said, like the situation. If we're tied or we're up, hey, I get it, but I don't know, down 14-0. It's very hard, and it's impossible actually for me to sit here and say that. I love I can't do it. I mean, I love Shane. I'm still verdicts out on Satterfield. I'm not fire Satterfield, but that was a bad call in my mind for the situation and for everything else. And what scares me is, how did no one on the headsets say, you know what, maybe this isn't a good idea? I know it's a bunch of inexperienced football coaches to a degree, but that concerns me a little bit. Again, I'm not, no win or loss or even decision made in year one. I think you and I agree. None of those things in year one are indicative of how the Shane Beamer era is going to go in Columbia. And if you're drawing conclusions this early, I just think it's a fool's errand to do so. But that irked me just a little bit. It irked me just a little bit.
Yeah. And listen, I agree. Listen, I don't know what kind of message you're trying to send, or to your point, like how nobody on the headset says anything about that, given the situation. It's like, hey, we're in a hole. We need to get this. To your point, is there anything that you've seen the first, 5 weeks of the season that would say, hey, if we just run a power eye here, we're going to get in?
Right.
And I think the answer at that point is no. So I think that's kind of where it came from.
Okay,
personally. I mean, clearly I'm not in there, but that's what I would say.